Trojan Sports Now.
The baseball team is gearing up for another conference home series after a midweek game. The Trojans will host Arkansas State for a 3-game series over the weekend. Troy is currently seated in the middle of standings for the Sun Belt Conference. The Trojans' overall record is 17-16, while their conference record is 6-6. Arkansas State has a current overall record of 13-17, while their conference record is 4-10. The two teams met twice last year in the Sun Belt Conference tournament. In the first meeting, Troy defeated the Red Wolves 4-3 in 13 innings. In the second meeting between the two teams, Arkansas State came back with a vengeance and defeated Troy 12-0. Troy will look to improve on their conference record of 6-6.
The softball team will take on conference foe Texas State for a weekend series in San Marcos. This will be the first time the Trojans take on the Bobcats this season. The last time the Trojans took on Texas State was in 2014 in a weekend series. Troy would go 2-1 to win the series. However, this season, both teams are equally matched on paper as they have the same record, 22-17. As Troy travels on the road, their away record suffers at 4-10. Texas State will have the advantage since they are at home and have a home record of 12-10. However, Troy sits on the top of the Bobcats in the latest conference standings at number 4. The Trojans will play this weekend in the hopes of extending their win streak to 5 games.
The track and field team is continually improving with top place finishes and breaking personal records. The team is preparing for their next invitational. The Trojan track and field team will head to Mobile to compete in the South Alabama Invitational hosted by South Alabama. Troy will have the opportunity to compete against a conference foe, the Jaguars, who are hosting. Troy is currently coming off the Tiger Track Classic, where many Trojans broke their own personal records along with top place finishes. Julia Ostendorf finished in first place for the 3,000-meter steeplechase, while Karina Cox claimed a second-place finish in the discus. The Invitational is being held in Gulf Shores, which will be the site of the conference tournament. And head coach Mark Davis said he is not only ready for his team to get a look at the spot for the upcoming tournament, but hoping to continue finishing in top places.
We're going to the site of the conference meet, so we're able to go and logistically get things together and just figure out what the track is all about. I've heard it's a nice complex. We haven't been there yet, or I haven't been there yet, so I'm looking forward to getting down and getting the kids competing on it.
With only 4 more tournaments, the team will continue to prepare for the Sun Belt Conference tournament.
The number 65 men's tennis team is looking to get back on a winning streak after a tough loss to UCF and a rebound win against Rollins. The men's team will travel to Jacksonville, Florida to compete against top-ranked North Florida. The Ospreys have an impressive record at 16-5 for this season, while Troy has a record of 21-6. North Florida is ranked at number 69 in the recent ITA rankings, whereas Troy sits ahead of the Ospreys at 65. As the Trojans travel to Jacksonville, they have an away record of 10-5, while North Florida is undefeated at home with a record of 9-0. The Trojans will look to continue to build on this success after their win against Rollins.
The women's tennis team is finishing up the last matches before the Sun Belt Conference tournament. Troy will host Florida A&M over the weekend as they look to make a winning streak out of their last 3 matches. Currently, Troy has an overall record of 8-8 and a conference record of 2-4. Florida A&M is currently 6-10 on the season, while the Rattlers' conference record is 3-1. Last year when the two teams met, Troy defeated the Rattlers 4-0, and head coach Rawia El-Sisi said that Florida A&M will be a good matchup for her team as they prepare for the Sun Belt Conference tournament.
Florida A&M is, we play them every year. Mainly we usually beat them, but it's kind of a good match to play right before the conference. And we'll be leaving for the conference championship on Wednesday next week. So that's a kind of a good week. That's a good average team to play in the weekend before we head to the conference.
The Trojans will host 1 more match before preparing for Sun Belt Conference play on April 16th.
The women's golf team sits at number 83 in the country and preparing for the Sun Belt Conference Championships.
One player, though, has a lot more on her plate than just golf.
Student athletes often have a lot on their plates when in college. They have the job of the athlete and the job of the student. But one student athlete at Troy University likes to fill her plate full. Women's golf player Langley Vanoy is the president of SAC, and she talks about what the organization is.
The Student Athletic Advisory Committee, which is basically Student Council of Athletes. We have different things we do. We have a legislative side, we have a community service side, we have campaigns that we put on, and just other different activities that we do, fundraising, and life skills things that we put on for the other athletes.
Softball player Leah Brundage is vice president for SAC and knows that Vinoy has plans to help the organization prosper.
With us being president and VP, we work really closely with one another. Langley pretty much tells me what to do, and I just get it done because I know she always has like a great plan for whatever she's doing is gonna be great.
As president, Vinoy has lots of tasks to fulfill in her position, but as Brundage says, everyone is eager and willing to help her out because of her leadership.
Everyone loves Langley. Like, she's a great leader. She delegates very well, but she also gets work and business done by herself. But she's very lovable, a people person, and she's caused so much change in SAC over the last year.
And while Vinoy has to balance schoolwork, golf, and being SAC president, she said she would not trade this experience.
It's busy, definitely busy, but I love it. I wouldn't want to trade anything else for the way that I'm enjoyed my college years.
Vinoy and her teammates will prepare for the Sun Belt Conference Tournament, which will be April 13th through the 15th.
That's all the time we have for Trojan Sports Now. Checking us out online at trojanvision.troy.edu to catch anything you missed.
For Clay Yeager, I'm Amy Austin. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Trojans!
Trojan Sports Now.